And Armin, if we could please ask you to kick off with some opening words on this year's forum and prize, as well as this year's laureate.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael, and dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. First of all, I cannot start by anything else but congratulating our 2019 laureate, Yazidis. Congratulations. And of course, we congratulate our humanitarians, our finalist heroes, because it's a true honor to welcome all of the 3 finalists in Armenia this October. As we have actually had a discussion together this morning, Aurora Prize ceremony, as you may have seen and I'm sure you felt, was very, very special. And it was the biggest, probably in terms of the participant ceremony. I believe there were more than 5,000 people there, maybe even more. We have to try to calculate and understand the exact number, of course, but the whole town, whole city, a lot of people from all over the world, people from all over the Armenia, came and joined and shared this momentum of celebrating humanity, celebrating human courage, and thank you to the people who risk their life to save other people's lives. This is not the end, as you know. It's an important part of the Aurora Forum, and the co-founders will give their assessment, but I believe that this forum we can consider quite successful in terms of opening in the world, creating in the world yet another place to discuss, to address global challenges, but also to enhance local development. And this is the moment when we welcome world to Armenia, when we welcomed Armenia to the world, and as you have seen on the videos on the stage, say thank you to the world and continue to strengthen and promote the message of gratitude in action. So thank you very much, and Mr. Dinai, please join us and share your story, and let's answer the questions of the journalists.
So I should say at this point we'll pause briefly for Mirza to talk through his prize gifting this evening, and also some of the partner organisations that he'll be working with, and then we'll open up the floor for questions. But I'll hand over to you, Mirza.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's a great honor for me to be laureate of 2019, especially in Aurora Forum and Aurora Prize. And it's for me, it's most important prize that can be given to one of those people who are working with the victims of genocide. And this is the most important thing in Aurora. And this is the most important thing, that this kind of recognition of genocide of my people were survivor of 72 genocide during the history, and this is the first time, 73rd genocide, that the first time that the Yazidi were accepted. And we are so lucky that Armenia, especially the grandchildren of a previous genocide 100 years ago, that recognized this genocide, beside all other things, I would say. So I would like to express my gratitude and thank to the selection committee. For sure, there are thousands of humanitarians, there are thousands of heroes in the world. They deserve such kind of recognition over all the world. I would like to thank you for that. I would like to thank this land, the land of Holy Ararat, the land of Holy Garni, and the land of coexistence and peace. We have the real diversity in this country. So through this establishment of this forum and this prize, Armenia became one of the greatest nations because they have such solidarities with the victims of genocide. We saw in the last three laureates from 2016 and 18, each one of them is doing a tremendous job for the victims of genocide, once in Sudan, in Burundi, and Rohingya, and now the Yazidis. So thank you very much, sir, for that. So sometimes you say that you are you have a destiny to go to this direction when you are working in the humanitarian work, because it's the humanitarian work. Not you are not expecting any time that you will be thankful for that. Otherwise, is it not a humanitarian work? So you are doing that, just you are doing because you are believing in that, in these values of serving people, helping people. And the first idea I had 12 years ago, as 2 Yazidi villages were attacked by ISIS, and hundreds of the innocent Yazidi civilians were killed, and 850 people were injured. I started just spontaneously a humanitarian mission. I brought the most severely injured children from Iraq to Germany with a story that I can tell you 2 hours about that, all the struggles and obstacles that I had. But after that, we saw how the effect of saving lives has affected my life and changed my life, and decided to do that not only for the Yazidis. We said we make it as a Luftbrücke Iraq or Airbridge Iraq to save the lives of all Iraqi children and terror victims, and this is what we did. So this was the beginning, and then if you started in the humanitarian work, you will be part of this humanitarian family, and you cannot stop anymore, because you are in touch, direct touch with the victims, with the people in need, with the vulnerable women, children, men, and you cannot stop, because in 1 minute if you try to stop, you will feel yourself guilty and you cannot stop more. So this was the reason I was not expecting to get a prize from any people, because usually beside the humanitarian work, I am a human rights activist and defender, and I defend the rights of the minority who are not beloved in my country at all, and they want to expel everybody of us. So, and if you are a human rights activist, you will be also easily criticized by the main powers that you have. So usually they are, even if you are doing a good job, even if you are saving the life of somebody from the death, but after the death, for example, he lost something else, they will tell you, yeah, you didn't save his life correctly, otherwise he will not have pain after 2 days of the operation, for example. So this is usually that we are working. But I truly believe that every single one of us has a hero inside himself. So coming back to the Aurora Prize, I think this platform can be one of the most important platform for building peace. And the spirit that you started from that, to build peace and the humanity, and that we are working for that. I am very proud to be part of you, part of Aurora family. You gave me a big duty. I hope that I will fulfill these duties and these responsibilities that I will get. I would like, should I announce the organization that?
Yes, please. If you
okay, I would like to mention 3 organizations that will get the Aurora Prize. The first one is actually the Shy Fund organization, is an American organization represented by Mrs. Charmaine Heading, who came from America. She is a citizen of the South Africa. Her organization is America, but she is working for the Christian and minority religions in Nineveh Plain in Iraq. And I met her 3 years ago as she was coming to help all these people, and she keep working for the minorities and innocent people and vulnerable people in Iraq. The second one is Seed Foundation. For me, actually, the best NGO in whole Kurdistan and Iraq, because of the professionality of Mrs. Sherry Talabani. Mrs. Sherry Talabani is a U.S. citizen who established an organization in Erbil in Iraq, and if you show the profile of all NGOs that they have, we have generally local NGOs in Iraq. It is some kind of business, just like in Sri Lanka. So you will find someone have a bag and his NGO is he want to earn money. Except Seed Foundation. The whole members of the Seed Foundation, including Sherry Talabani, they are volunteering, and she is working from the early morning to the evening in her office. She leaves her children. I don't like to speak more about it. Her husband will be will compliment after that and will punish her because maybe now he is accepting that she is absent. But what she did, it's amazing. So. And the third organization is actually the organization that I founded 12 years ago, ΟՒՂΙΓ, presented by my deputy, Mr. Stefan Boimer. It's from Germany. It is the soul of and the spirit of Airbridge Iraq, or ΟՒՂΙΓ, was after we brought the first spontaneous mission actually from Iraq. We saved the life of 6 children. We decided to make it an organization for whole Iraqi children because we don't care about the religion, ethnicity, and political opinion and these things of the parent and the children. The children are children, and the sick people are sick people. So, and during the ISIS attack, we did, and you cannot imagine that our organization actually has only one private donor who pay us in the last 7 years only 1,000 euro per month, so 12,000 euro per year, and we did all that. Besides the work with the Yazidi victims, we have helped 150 Iraqi children in a different mission and saved their life in Germany, besides the other things that we did. After the genocide of the Yazidi, we were very active to saving the lives of the people. We helped in many projects inside Iraq. We were proudly partner of the state Baden-Württemberg. I would like here to express my gratitude to the Prime Minister of Baden-Württemberg, Mr. Kretschmann, and Mr. Moravsky, the Minister of Baden-Württemberg, and also the head of the Special Quota Project of Baden-Württemberg, Dr. Michael Blumer, and Professor Ilhan Kizilhan, because without them, ΟՒՂΙΓ were never able to bring Yazidi women and children. And also I would like to express my gratitude to the people of Kurdistan who hosted my victimized Yazidis from Zaho to Suleymania, to the KRG government who have helped that facilitating our project. Otherwise it was not possible. I think the working of the NGO, you should have good relationship with the local authorities there. And even if you are criticizing them, if you are doing it in an objective way, you can still work. So thank you very much for those who have helped the Airbridge Iraq. These are the 3 organizations that I would like to be supported by Aurora Prize.
Fantastic, thank you. So at this point, we'd like to open up for questions for Mirza, but as well for Nubar, Armin, and Ruben. This is being broadcast, so microphones will be passed around. If you could just hold on until you get a mic, that would be great. And if you could please open with your full name and outlet, that would be great as well. So, any questions?
Hi, I'm Robert Jackman from the British magazine The Spectator. I'm just interested in where the Aurora Prize and the forum is going. It seems there's been a lot of momentum this year. What do you plan to do next time around?
Look, I don't think we have any particular announcements in that regard today, other than to say that the prize is an important part of a continuous program to both attract, connect with resources that can help the humanitarian work that our nominees, finalists, and laureates are conducting. And so we've created a community of these humanitarians. As we've said during the last few days, many of these people don't actually know any people like them because they're busy doing it, not associating. But through us, we've actually created a growing community that is kind of supporting each other by relationships, by experience. In fact, Tom Catena, who became chairman just a year ago of our initiative, is taking on that added responsibility literally to group these folks together and then connect them to potential partner organizations. So I think that work will certainly continue. And we've begun interacting with other organizations at the Aurora institutional level. We're finding a lot of kind of, let's say, resonance with a lot of groups who find the message of gratitude and action compelling, interesting, and want to engage and scale some of these activities. If Tom Katina was here, he would tell you that one of the hidden advantages of what we're doing, perhaps not necessarily planned, but that's how it's turned out, is that we're essentially outsourcing the decision making of who gets the money to the potentially most qualified people who are experts in receiving the money and putting it to work. And there are some people who are really good at raising money, but maybe don't have enough time left to do the work. Then there's other people who do the work and don't have enough time to raise the money. Our money is primarily going at the direction of the folks that actually are living this every day. So that's another advantage. There's a lot more capital that wants to be deployed to meaningful humanitarian arenas and causes, and we think over time we can become an interesting conduit for that. So I've given you some directions. We have, together with Ruben and Vartan as co-founders in the product group, when we announced this initiative, said that the first 8 years the prize would be given in memory of the 8 years during which the Armenian genocide broadly was carried out between 1915 and 1923. But at the same time, a movement's growing out of this, and we'd like to see that movement continue to do its good work well beyond that. And so we'll have to figure this out as we go and as we try different approaches. Last thing I'll say is this year we surrounded the prize with this Aurora Forum, where there's been now lots of education, science, technology, and other cultural discussions going on around it. And this was an experiment. And it's an experiment for us, and it's certainly an experiment for Armenia. And it's been an interesting learning of people seeing the culture of, as you saw today, dozens of dialogues, discussions in small groups. And so that's another thing that we're cultivating here, is this awareness of exchanging ideas, bringing expertise from the world, but why not getting the world to gain expertise from here as well.
Thank you. Armenian European magazine ՈՒղԻՂ, based in Prague. First of all, Mr. Dinay, congratulations. I know it as a fact that the Yazidi community in Armenia, and at least in the Czech Republic, were very much waiting for this decision. So the question is, what message do you have for them today, as you said, after the first time of recognition of Yazidi genocide? Thank you.
So Yazidi community in Armenia is a well-integrated community in Armenia, and this diversity that Republic of Armenia has in an equality, I never feel it in any other country. I know that I am in Iraq by the majority I will be treated as an infidel, and I know that when one of the Yazidi temple will be destroyed, there is no possibility to rebuild it again during the Saddam time and the Iraqi government, and there is a big difference between both the situations. And for sure, I am sure that the people from Armenia with the Yazidi, they share together many cultural heritage in the past. By the way, so only I did 2 months ago an example of DNA of the Yazidis, and I took a sample of 30 Yazidi people from Iraq, and the next close nation to the Yazidis were Armenian and Asia Minor in these areas. So I didn't publish it until now because I was so busy in the last for 2 months because I had a heart attack and I was busy with my treatment. But interesting that the nearest people were to because they are coming from the same region actually. So I think we share a cultural heritage together, but unfortunately we share also a history of pain together.
Your message to them?
I don't know what I tell them as a message. I thank them. I thank because I am sure that their presence in this country has played also a role in order to make this understanding. I hear just 2 days ago from the Yazidi member of the parliament that Armenian government because they are very engaged. We have many Yazidi businessmen who are trying to help and helped actually Kurdistan and the Yazidis in Iraq, and they are so engaged and have very good relationship with the Yazidis in Iraq, and even they are planning now to make some humanitarian project from Armenia directly, Armenian physicians with help of the Yazidis in Armenia to implement it in Kurdistan and especially in Sinjar, which is an excellent idea, and I would support such idea.
Hi, Aram Arkan from the Armenian Mirror Spectator of Boston, United States. Congratulations. And my question is, you already had, I believe, made some attempts to achieve some, not just international recognition of what happened to Yazidis as genocide, but also perhaps to have some sort of trial or equivalent of like UN war crimes trials. Do you plan to, with additional resources and attention, redouble your efforts in this vein, and how do you think pragmatically what's the likelihood of achieving such result?
Okay, let me tell you something, the bitter reality that we have now. Unfortunately, there is no plan of such international trial for the crimes of ISIS that attack the Yazidis, neither on the international level, not in the domestic Iraqi level. So unfortunately, the Iraq has no interest to establish such kind of court to deal with the international crimes. What the Iraqis are doing now, the imprisoned perpetrators and accused people, they will be dealt either with the anti-terror law, Iraqi anti-terror law, or with the penal law. And in the Iraqi penal code is a joke, because they don't care if you are killing 1 person or 2 person, 2,000 person. If they are accused, they will punish them with death penalty in the matter of the provision of the murder. But in the provision, there is no sense about the slavery in the Iraqi code, and in the penal code, the rape. It is very easy by the perpetrator to have impunity to overcome the punishment, because there is a special provision to forgive the perpetrator if he raped even 50,000 children. If he bring a certificate of marriage, even a forcibly certificate marriage, to the court, he will be the punishment will be stopped. If the court had a decision, the decision will be stopped. So even after the decision of the court with a marriage certificate. So you can imagine how the Iraqi are dealing with, and there is no any sense in the Iraqi constitution, or there was a law, unfortunately is stopped. There was a law about the crimes of Saddam regime, but it was timely restricted, and it stopped actually, and only for the crimes of Saddam regime. So on the international level, unfortunately, there is no until now there is no good work in this, and I will try in my best to encourage the international community, to the member state of the UN or Security Council, to establish either an internationalized court in Iraq or an international court in order to bring the perpetrators to the justice. It is the sense here is not only to punish the perpetrator. The recognition, the moral recognition, the symbolic recognition of the genocide has a first target to, just like we said after 1945, never again, but it has happened in Rwanda, it has happened in Congo, it has happened for Rohingya and everywhere, in Sudan. So we should this time not only say never again, we should do something in order to prevent, prohibit any kind of genocide. And what we are seeing, for example, now the conflict in Middle East, and now in the Syria, the conflict, you watch with your own eyes, the main powers in the world, they are watching and they are seeing, and they know that a genocide could happen. Ethnic cleansing would happen, war crimes will happen, crimes against humanity are happening. You know, the Yazidis and the Christians have been expelled and from Afrin, for example, because of the occupation of the terrorist group in Afrin. Now the Turkish invasion and the danger of such invasion and engagement of the terrorist group who are collaborating with the Turkish military, who are attacking the civilians even before the Turkish military come to the areas. So we see that the whole minorities in that area, they escaped actually. So, and the world are watching, and they are making President Trump did a funny deal. So I just like you go to somebody and you speak about the property of the third person, and you so that you will tell the second person, I will give you the property of that. President Trump is giving a present property of Syria to President Erdogan, which is not true. I hope that he will be aware what the American. I was one of those people who was very impressed by American democracy and the values of the democracy, and we learned from the American democracy. Where are these values of democracy and human rights? Where are they? Why the administration is not searching exactly what to do? It is now. I don't like to be part of that party or on the side of Turkey against the Kurds or the side of the Kurds against Turkey. What I care about? I care about those civilians, the Kurds, the Arabs, the Yazidis, the Assyrian, the Christian who are there living in East, northern East Syria. I do care about those innocent people, what they did. I don't care who will lead this area. And this is, I think I will try to be voice of those people, but voice of the peace, because we have a target in Aurora established a target, and I will try to keep this target, strengthen this target of building peace, humanity, and coexistence, without to fight in the side of this of that party or the other party. We would like to have this, but we should bring our voice to the world with this message. Please stop any kind of violation. Please, you said 70 years ago, never again, but it has happened. Can you please reschedule your agenda about the Genocide Convention, about the measurement and punishment of genocide there? Can you please do that in order to protect the future of our children in somewhere else in these countries, in Middle East or in Far East or somewhere else? Can you do that, please?
Thank you very much.
Nina Massi, PA. Can I just ask what message you think the win sends to ISIS about the international community's view towards Yazidi people and the resilience that you have?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What message do you think the win sends to ISIS about the resilience of the Yazidi people? The win, you winning the award.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And also, the resilience that you have.
Well, I think with every step, if you are strengthening those people, empowering those people who are working for peace and for the humanity and for the humanitarian, with each of this support, it will weaken the side of the evil. This is clear, and I am sure that such kind of recognition is not only a personal recognition. It's not because Mirza is a hero. I am not a hero. I am an ordinary son of a farmer from a small village in Sinjar. But the case of the Yazidis, the genocide of the Yazidis, and the plight that we have now, and the complexity of this case, and such recognition from the Aurora, this platform, such recognition will weaken the side of the evil, and this is very important.
Any further questions?
If I'm not mistaken, some of the Yazidi tribes came to Armenia during the era of the Armenian genocide from further south. I was wondering whether there's any connection between the actual peoples now in Armenia, some of them, and people who are in your area right now.
Yeah. So there are good connections between the Yazidis in Armenia and Iraq, actually, and this shows also the spirit of coexistence by the Armenian people who accept the others. So if you can imagine that the Yazidis of Armenia, they were separated from all religious context of the Yazidism from Iraq more than 70 years. So the last group of the Yazidi clerics who visited Armenia were during the First World War. As we came, the first time that I was in Armenia, actually, I think it was 2013 or 12, and I saw that the Yazidi are keeping their culture just like in Sinjar and Sheikhan, and even they have no such kind of clerics, and they were separated completely from the High Supreme Religious Council. This shows first that the people here, the majority here, are accepting those small innocent minorities among them and helping them to protect their identity and integrating their identities inside there. So this is, and now there is actually during 2014, the genocide, the most of the Yazidi activists, young people, businessmen, they came to Kurdistan, they helped many humanitarian help in the beginning of the Yazidi genocide, and the kind of 3 weeks ago was the opening of the biggest Yazidi temple here, the temple of Tawsi Malak. It would be never possible to build a temple in the name of Tawsi Malak in Iraq or Syria or Turkey, never, because we believe Tawsi Malak is a name of God, but they believe that Tawsi Malak is devil, and they will never allow us to build, although Tawsi Malak has nothing to do with devil, but for the context of the misunderstanding, unfortunately, of the mainstream of the in Islamic countries, they understand that, so they will never allow us to build a temple in the name of Tawsi Malak, and Armenia did that. And by the way, 3 weeks ago, you would see in every street, every corner of Yerevan and Armavir, 10 of the Yazidi people from Germany, from Iraq, from Syria, they were visiting and participating in the celebration of the temple. So this shows you how the connection is.
Thank you, and I think we'll close the Q&A there, and just a few brief closing remarks before we wrap up. We're honoured today to be joined not only by Mirza, but also by leaders from 2 of his chosen regifting organisations. As a reminder, as Mirza mentioned, he's chosen to donate his Aurora Prize funds to 3 organisations which provide medical care and rehabilitation to victims of ISIS terror, 2 of whom are able to join us today, and we'll just hand over to each of them briefly to introduce themselves and the work they do.
Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much to the Aurora Prize founders. It's a tremendous effort. This is my 2nd time here. And congratulations to Dr. Mirza. It's well deserved. He's been doing this work for 12 years to help victims and people in need to get the help they need. But he was one of the first responders after August 3rd, 2014, after the Yazidi people were viciously attacked. He came in without hesitation from Germany, where he was living safely and wonderfully, came to the aid of his fellow countrymen. So congratulations. Thank you for choosing us. My name is Sherry Kram Talabani. I'm from Seed Foundation. We're a local organization based in Kurdistan, Iraq. Our mission is to help survivors of violence and conflict in their recovery. And so we provide long-term care. We're a development NGO, a human rights NGO. We provide long-term care, mental health, psychotherapy, case management, legal protection services. We work with Yazidi survivors of Daesh. We work with survivors of trafficking, survivors of human slavery. And we provide long-term care because if you don't treat the survivors of trauma, we'll continue the cycle of violence in Iraq that has plagued the country for decades. And so we must provide needed support, long-term care to victims of violence. So thank you. I'm honored. I'm grateful. Happy to be here. Happy to be included. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Charmaine Heading. I am the president and founder of Shy Fund. It's an organization that works with a number of people, including the Yazidis, but we work to defend and protect religious minorities, primarily in the Middle East and in Africa. And I just want to say to the Aura Forum, you are a light. I haven't come before, this is the first time. The light that you have shed on some of these issues is absolutely phenomenal. And it's an honor and a privilege to be with you all here this evening and to be part of this fantastic event, but also specifically to highlight the plight of the Yazidi minorities that have been sex slaves, that have been sold in sex markets like we've never seen before. In our time, I never thought that we would see this, and to not do anything, for those of us who say never again, not on our watch, for those of us who read about the Armenian genocide, the Holocaust, how can we not get involved? The call tonight is to be a light, like the Aurora Forum, and to stand up for people like this, for persecuted religious minorities. Mirza, it's a privilege to be here with you. Thank you.
Fantastic. And just before we wrap up, I'll hand over to Ruben for some closing remarks.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say congratulations, and I'm so happy about this project we started many years ago, bringing really transformational changes, and I hope we will continue successful build which we started 5 years ago with Nubar Vartan against the humanitarian movement. Like Nubar said, we are in one hand very young organization, it's only 5 years old, and we are learning a lot by our own mistakes and our own process, but we're trying to make them more efficient and more sustainable. I think it's very important for us to make this crowdfunding movement when people become part of the humanitarian movement and say, now look, which we hope, this is my dream, first of all, of course, when Aurora one day will not be any more needed. This is the biggest dream that we in Nubar we said many, many years ago. One day we'll have not causes to have a prize for people who save lives of others because of some crazy things happening. But the other dream that I have, I hope, many survivors, like in Rwanda, I was in Rwanda with Margaret Baron-Kitz celebrating her 25-year anniversary of her Museum Shalom. Like many kids become very successful. They grow up, they got the education in Canada, they got the education in Europe, and I hope we will give second chance to others. I will give back. I hope now many people who now living in Germany, speaking very good German and having normal life, will understand this is not only gift what they receive, but it's also obligation for them to continue this cycle of gratitude action, which I hope we can continue. You know, we're doing project in Germany, and not everybody is familiar, but Nubar's family was saved by German officer, and because of which, because also we've been doing our dialogues in Germany already 3 years. Also, we started a project of Aurora Gratitude. We are participating in reconstruction of the Protestant church in Potsdam, the Garrison Church. And Aurora will be every year now, we agree as soon as the church will be reconstructed, we have our own floor, we'll have Aurora dialogue, there will be Aurora discussion, we'll have Aurora presenting the story of Omar's family, but also to make us all in Germany, which is not easy for German history, and we all appreciate about their courage and honestly to recognize Armenian genocide and also the roles of Germans who play, unfortunately, very bad roles to what's happened in during Armenian genocide. This is how we recognize what happened in the Holocaust. And the next year, 75 years of Holocaust, they will bring again the question both on how we all can help people who have been suffered now get a good chance to go second life, to feel what they're in the cycle to give back also. And I think it's again, it's not the personal project of Ruben or Nubar or Vartan. We hope it's a project of entire Armenian nation, but also the other people who needs to become part of it.
Thank you. And Nubar?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one other thing. I mean, just to put this in context, because listening to Mirza's words, and you're in Armenia, and so I'll give you kind of an Armenian perspective on this. You know, when we saw, and this is for all three of the finalists, so let me relate it to all of them. When we saw the videos and the photos of Yazidi people basically retreating to a mountain, and that's further and further up a mountain to try to protect themselves. For Armenians, this reminds us of the very well-known story of Musadaf, which has been well recorded, where Armenians similarly basically went to a top of a mountain, got trapped, and those images traumatize us at some level. And when you see Boko Haram take these women, they were the same things that happened to Armenians. And what's happening in Yemen, and under the guise of people seemingly fighting each other, just exterminating all these people. And, of course, that's our problem, that we feel traumatized. But the reality is that I think getting people who go through that to not let it be for no good reason, and that kind of in the memory of people who died, including these Yazidis and Yemenis now and in Nigeria, to try to figure out how the survivors can do something good with it. It's not like a noble thing. It's like, feels like almost a way to deal with the trauma. And so I think that Mirza is going to have to do the same thing. And I already know that Marguerite is doing the same thing. So this is important to understand, that this is, these things don't go away. And so I think this prize is to make sure nobody forgets this.
If I may just add one other point, not about this press conference, but I want to use the opportunity on behalf of the all founders, say special thank you for everybody who participated in this project, but special to Armando sitting here. To be honest, what was done was unbelievable. All this week, my entire team didn't sleep, and we did more of 30 events. And it was organized by many people who participated. It was done by many volunteers, many staff members, many people who've been involved in this. And it's a very international team. Armenians, Russian, Georgians, French, American. Again, it's amazing, and British. It's an amazing group of the people who've been encouraging doing this. And I want just using this opportunity to say thank you, Armando, for you, everything we did, and all the entire team. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. That's a big international team, but it's also the driving force for us is the vision and the mission, and that gives energy and lots of things to do. Thank you.
And so we should say, to conclude, if you have any interview requests, be it for the co-founders, for any of the partner organisations, for Mirza, or for any of this year's humanitarians, just let myself or a member of the Edelman team know, or Mane from the Aurora team. Sorry, Mane. And once again, we'd just like to say thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the prize giving tonight. We hope you continue to enjoy the forum as it runs into tomorrow. And for one last time, if you could join me in congratulating the 2019 Aurora Prize laureate, Mirza Dinari.